nice, gonna do those bits, give her a wash off, and once we give her a wash off, then we'll take another look.
6:03, still in the yard. Probably gonna get changed in a little bit and try and train my shoulders, train back yesterday. Just going through some bits and pieces, some operational issues, and some other administration issues in the back of my mind. I've got what's happened on Monday, so trying to think of a plan for the best way forward. So not the best of days, but not the worst of days. Signing off on Thursday.
Morning, good to see you.
Found it all right, then?
Yeah.
These are for you.
Thank you.
I'm going to take you inside, give you a COVID test, make sure we're all good, and then we'll get out right away and get this done.
Thank you, let's go.
Guys, it's Friday morning, we are in the yard. This is Mr. Sean Bailey. This man is one of the candidates for Mayor of London. If you remember, last week I sent an email to Sean's office and I sent an email to the current Mayor of London. And Sean has come down here to answer a few questions. But while we're here, we're going to show him around the yard and see what he thinks.
Can I just say before we start, look at that, it's made out of concrete. It's made and similar to concrete. I'm very impressed with that. I'm very impressed.
So here's the main yard. We do concrete, we do grabs, we do skips, we do absolutely everything in construction, and we're a construction firm. If you are successful in being elected, whoever's mayor is going to have a massive impact on what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do. So I have some questions for you. I've heard a rumour that you have some ground roots in this industry, what I'm going to question you on later.
Okay.
This is our railway yard. You have a look here. We have a train coming in.
Yeah.
We have 22 carriages of material coming with this material at the moment. This is the machine that offloads it from the train, stockpile the material here, and then we sell this material in the local area. So while we do run lorries, we're reducing our carbon footprint and we're hooking up parts of the country together.
Where are the trains coming from?
The trains come from the north of the country, the south of the country, places where it's not economically viable to bring that material here. And as there's a shortage of material in this area, this is what we've done to get it here. So every train takes something like 120 lorries off the road.
Yeah, but see, these unbelievably, this is the kind of reason why I'm running for Mayor of London. What people forget is that money made in London is spent all over the country. Okay. So I'm going to build 100,000 homes for £100,000. I will use this material.
Will you really?
Yeah, I will use this material. And this material comes from all over the country. You collect it, we bring it into London, we turn it into homes.
Can I get that in writing?
Yeah.
You need it.
Oh, material like this.
Material like this, not that material like this. Well, that's a good start anyway. So this is our setup here. It's our water tower, our cement silo. We build and we supply a lot of our competition as well. Any decisions that the Mayor of London makes could make or break us. So this is a very important subject for us. And there are a lot of people who watch Astral Weekly, firstly because they're serious. And secondly, there's a lot of people who work in construction, but across, you know, there could be an architect, there could be a landscaper, there could be a machine operator, there could even be a train driver. There's a lot of people who watch this. And I don't think some of them understand, like, the impact, the legislation and things that the mayor puts in place, the impact it has on the construction industry as a whole. Just because you only have a firm and you do a couple of extensions a year, it still affects them massively.
London is one of the biggest markets, and anything we do affects what happens business-wise, how many people, how many jobs you have across a year affected by London. That's really, really important. And of course, as Mayor of London, I'm constantly trying to push the legislation to deliver for business, because business means employment. But the best thing about this yard is people work here. Yeah. This pays people's bills, and I'm very interested in helping business work because I want to see people working.
I heard a couple of things about you, and you know when you hear about a man, you have to do your homework. I heard, but I had to investigate, I heard that Sean's dad had lorries. I said, what? This man had lorries. So I went, and I asked Noel. He is the man with all the knowledge, all the know-how, and he knows everyone in the industry. He's been in the industry for years. Straight away when I mentioned the name, he said, yeah, I know him. I said, what? And it turns out that Noel has done work on Sean's dad's lorries.
Yes, it is.
Noel said that Sean wasn't in the yard when he was there, which is a different conversation altogether. But let's go and see Noel.
And this is quite a tight industry. You have to be on it to survive in this industry. You have to know it. And my dad did nothing else, he works. Yeah. If he taught me any lessons, is get out of your bed in the morning, go and pick some coins.
So if we go out in a lorry and a tyre goes, will you help me change a tyre?
Yeah, of course I will.
Okay. Will you pay my congestion today?
Definitely not.
in the main interview, but congestion is a massive issue in this yard. And this low emission zone and the boundaries and all this sort of stuff is a massive issue for us. And
I have a big plan to do all that. When you interview me, I'll tell you all.
Yeah.
Over the years, my dad's parked in a couple of places, but I think that's basically the last place.
He was there for a few years.
Yeah. Because he had a little while he used to park under White City. It's all changed now.
Yeah, wanted to get out there.
To get out.
wasn't anything in that yard in White City as well?
Oh yeah,
Years ago. Oh, before my time, yeah?
Yeah. But he might not have been old enough to drive then.
Well, it appears, people, that Sean's story checks out.
All my stories check out, let's be clear.
So, let's get him out in the lorry and ask him a few questions. Guys, I want to thank Sean for that. That was fantastic. I got to ask him questions on his policy, questions on his history. Always remember that the Mayor of London affects the entire country. There are 5 million people. Sean educated me in the main interview you're going to have to watch. There are 5 million people eligible to vote in London, and only 50% of those people vote. I've never voted for the Mayor of London because I think, what difference does it make? Like, it doesn't matter if I vote. I've been told by Sean, every vote counts. And if you're in an industry or you're unemployed or you have a grievance with what's going on at the moment, or you just like to have your say, make sure you vote, and you need to vote by...
You need to register to vote in person by the 19th of April, but you can register to vote by post by the 20th of April.
And when is the vote taking place?
May the 6th is your opportunity to give London a fresh start.
May the 6th. So guys, you'll be watching this on Sunday for Asheville Weekly. Don't waste any time. Make sure that you register to vote, and then my interview will come out just after that. And we are still waiting for Mr. Khan to get back to me. He's ignored me. These type of disrespects are not appreciated. So get back to us so we can make it fair and interview you as well. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
It's 5:25 in the yard. Just warmed up my food. Gonna have my second meal of the day. Having a look quickly, the pipe I spoke about we were putting on the other day, I can see that is now on. The tipper has the cab up and the body in the air because Noel was giving it a wash. There's something weeping in this sort of area, and in order to see it, we wanted to clean it off properly so we can try and work out what it is, because we don't know yet. It's not serious, but because this is going for test and we're spending some time on it, we're going to take a good look. I am seriously tired. I am mentally and physically drained and exhausted. It's in the morning. It's Saturday, I'm in the yard. I'm ashamed but happy at the same time. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, got a lot on my mind. I was sleeping, but not really sleeping. The whole time I was sleeping, I was thinking about work. So I woke up at 4:30, half dead like a zombie, had a coffee, went in the living room, sat down on the sofa, and after about half an hour of looking at emails and reading stuff, I fell asleep again. But I think my body needs it. I feel a bit fresher today, but I've got in the yard a little bit later. So I'm ashamed of that, but happy that I managed to get some rest. We're having serious cement issues, but we don't want to let our clients down. So we've actually paid probably 150% more for one load of cement than we've ever paid, but we couldn't let our clients down. We don't want to lose the work. Apparently it's an industry problem. Of course it is. For me it seems like one of those things which is man-made, where a bunch of people say, oh yeah, we don't have any. If there isn't sand, then there isn't cement. If there isn't cement, then there isn't stone. Thankfully there's always water around, even if we need to use a garden hose to fill the lorries. I used to have more phones on me, but Terry has taken one of the phones off me. It was kind of like I got moved to. So he stood around and he was like, let me see your phone. And I was like, there you go. He was like, no, the other one. And he took my phone off me and walked off. So my phone down. I feel a bit lighter because my pockets aren't bulging as they were. There wasn't much conversation that went into it, but he has taken one of my phones. Let's see how that works out. We saw the LA60 bucket collected earlier in the week. Well, I've had a call from the manufacturers and I'm popping down to them on Tuesday. They're going to talk me through exactly how they're going to repair the structure and how they're going to repair the small cracks you saw in the bucket area. Your shoes are in there. I was looking at your shoes. I was training core yesterday and I walked past, I was like, right, who left their shoes in the gym? I was like, what's that on it? I was just looking at them for about 10 minutes. I walked past, I was going to tread on them in my hand. If it was his, yeah, I'd have just walked on, booing them across the gym if they were his shoes. But because they were your shoes, I allowed it.
I was going to go back, I was going to take my shoes, I was going to put the bag back.
Yeah.
I just ran home because I was so stressed.
I just allowed it because it was you, Jules, but yeah. And then I put the punch bag up as well. Obviously, the way you were lashing the bag, obviously your arms were tired afterwards. You couldn't really understand that. It's obvious. Yeah. Yeah. No, Daniel's not
not fuming. No. Daniel's not fuming. Daniel's fuming about Daniel's not fuming about that. We got another 99 problems, but your shoes ain't one yet. So we got bigger problems than Jules' shoes. Hey, bruv, where you get that top? That looks like a new top. What size is this? XL, yeah? Where you get that? The material is going down slowly but surely. We're meant to have a couple of trains towards the end of next week, but we didn't get an email telling us there are any trains coming. Generally, if you don't get an email on the Thursday, then you haven't got trains the week after, so I'll have to investigate and see what's going on there. Other than that, normal Saturday in the yard. It's not very warm, it's about 10 degrees, but the sun is shining and the skies are clear. That's it for Asheville Weekly, episode 28. We have survived the siege. Asheville has become the set for the 2021 World War Z. I feel like I called it on myself for always talking about the zombie apocalypse. I feel like Will Smith in I Am Legend when all the remaining survivors on planet Earth turned up at his house. Some people will say I should have come out and faced them. Well, this isn't about courage, this is about strategy, and I'm not going to be a puppet in anyone's pantomime. When all is said and done, the group who turned up were clearly very passionate about their cause. But there is a way of doing things if you want to be treated respectfully and professionally, and that wasn't it. Click here for the Asheville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here to see my interview with Jackie O'Donovan where we talk about women in construction, and click here for last week's episode, which was 27. Hi, I'm Daniel, and this is Asheville Weekly, episode